almost all the signs that have been given to various nations as a warning of the dawn of the end times for our civilization have come true. At different times, different religions or prophets on different continents have left information with essentially the same purpose, to give clear signs and indications of the approach of the end times, so that people can recognize this time and prepare themselves. Many of these predictions are literally being fulfilled before our very eyes right now. The further we delve into the incredible predictions that have already realized and continue to happen, the greater this mystery becomes. For a reasonable person, it's obvious that such a number of facts, signs, and events that have occurred in parallel or in succession in recent years cannot be a coincidence. Let's briefly list at least the main ones, before going into detail about the most important prophecy that was fulfilled at the end of 2019, informing humanity of what everyone must do to prevent the destruction of our current civilization and move on to a new cycle. It was predicted that most people would ignore the prophecies about the end times. The day of judgment will surprise many. It will come like a thief in the night. Why is that? Because the passive and apathetic waiting for salvation from above in useless prayers and hopes for God, Allah, Buddha, etc. has been proclaimed and announced by almost all religions, denominations, and religious sects for many centuries. And most people continue to be inactive and live in illusions with useless prayers and hopes for salvation and liberation. Esotericists and spiritualists are blathering about the imminent quantum transition, putting other people to sleep as well. They are giving people false information and urging them to calm down and concentrate on the development of their souls and near spiritual practices, while the world continues to roll towards the abyss and will soon reach the point of no return. And this will affect everyone. However, indications of what needs to be done can be found in all sacred texts of all religions if you read and analyze them carefully. For it has been said,
"Faith without deeds is useless."
It also has been said,
"Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father in heaven."
The Quran has given a hint.
It is these who hasten to do good works and vie in so doing with one another.
And the Hindus were also told,
"Do your duty for action is truly better than inaction."
In the history of our civilization, there have always been wars, epidemics, and natural disasters, and many people have seen them as signs of the end of the world. But the world never ended. Life went on, and people's vigilance waned over time. But not once in the history of our civilization has the most important prophecy been fulfilled. Not once has there been a simultaneous coincidence of a series of incredible facts mentioned in different religions and nations which have happened or are still happening before our eyes. Judge for yourself. The Messenger of Allah said,
"The last hour will not come till the land of Arabia reverts to meadows and rivers.
The most unbelievable thing that has already happened is that the Arabian desert blossomed and rivers flowed through it. Other signs of the approaching end times have also been fulfilled, which has never happened before. Competition in building tall houses, the convergence of markets, and the increase in trade. The prophecies of Christianity in many respects coincide with those of Islam. Both religions predicted increasing and more frequent military conflicts, food shortages, severe earthquakes, and epidemics. It was said that people would become selfish, greedy for money, disobedient to parents, without devotion, without natural affection, addicted to pleasure, but not loving God. At the beginning of 2020, the world was shaken by the news of the coronavirus. But few saw this event as a sign of the first horseman of the apocalypse.
And I looked, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him.
Only a few saw the sharp arrows of the horseman in the worldwide vaccination. Very few people pay attention to another important prophecy, which is found in the 5th chapter of Revelation. But it is the lever for all the following prophecies of the apocalypse, and these prophecies, which are fulfilled one after the other, are directly related to everything that has happened in recent years.
And I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll written inside and on the back, sealed with 7 seals. Then I saw a strong angel proclaiming in a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the scroll and to loose its seals?" And no one in heaven or on the earth or under the earth was able to open the scroll or to look at it. So I wept much, because no one was found worthy to open and read the scroll or to look at it. And I looked, and behold, in the midst of the throne, and of the 4 living creatures, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as though it had been slain. Then he came, and took the scroll out of the right hand of him who sat on the throne.
What is this book that the Apostle John saw in the right hand of the one who sits on the throne? How do we know? What is written in the book if no one in heaven, on earth, or under the earth could open the book or look inside it? What is the significance of the 7 seals and the 7 golden lampstands mentioned in Revelation? At the end of 2019, an unusual book was published in Russia in the Caucasus. The very first lines indicate that it is the book mentioned in the 5th chapter of the Revelation of the Apostle John. The book tells of the opening of the 7 seals, the revelation of the mystery of the 7 golden lampstands, and many other miracles that bring together fragments of information from different religions, of different peoples in a multi-layered puzzle. The book is narrated in the name of the returned forerunner of the Messiah and states that the message of the book should be conveyed to every living person, regardless of their social status, political, national, territorial, religious affiliation, and level of education. The evidence contained in the book is also intended for atheists. The book says, that every person must examine the contents of the book for themselves to convince themselves and draw their own conclusion, that this is the foretold book that is revealed to the whole world in the end times. The book reveals the secrets of the sacred symbols that have been worshipped by different people since ancient times, so that everyone can recognize them and thus understand that this message is not only addressed to Christians, but to all people on earth. However, despite numerous interpretations of the symbols of the six-pointed and eight-pointed star and the equilateral cross, nobody knew exactly where they came from and what they actually meant. All these symbols, their meaning, their connection with the 7 lampstands from the Apocalypse, their connection with the Holy Kaaba for Muslims, and many other miracles are revealed in the book. The book contains an important message to humanity about what everyone must do to prepare for the imminent arrival of the messenger and the day of judgment. We interviewed the man who revealed the book. In the book, he provides evidence of who was destined to reveal the book at the end of time and why. His name is Aslan Uarziaty. Let's listen to what he says about the book and what was revealed to him, why through him.
There are many worlds in the universe. Worlds like ours are the womb of the universe, where souls are born and grow through teachings and tests. Now our civilization has completed a full teaching cycle. Throughout this cycle, souls were born and died each time in a new life, in a new body. In this way, they went through the school of life. The sole aim of which was to raise their soul level, so that everyone would overcome the human-like biorobot, with animal instincts within them, develop their own opinion and consciousness into an independent I in order, to learn, to draw their own conclusions, make sensible decisions with their own mind and conscience, without listening to authorities or looking to the programs set by society, education, and the media. Conscience is the voice of God within each of us. The complete cycle of our civilization consisted of 9 small cycles, each of which ended with minor cataclysms, catastrophes, and destruction. They are mistakenly thought of as extinct civilizations, but in reality they are different cycles of our civilization, in which our souls lived and learned. As soon as the spiritual level of the world fell critically behind the technological level, one cycle was ended by a destruction, and the next cycle began. Throughout all these small cycles, the program of the divine matrix has created the conditions for each soul to experience darkness and light, giving everyone the choice to evolve spiritually, to grow to the next level of the world, or to stay put and live their lives in vain. And now we have reached the end of the complete cycle. Towards the end of this cycle, the last book from above was revealed to our world. This happened at the end of 2019, and with this revelation, the teaching time has ended and the exam time for every soul, and the entire civilization has begun. The book was revealed in Reasha, as foretold in the first chapter of Revelation. Deliver it to the 7 churches in Asia. For 3.5 years, the message was delivered to the people of Reasha. This is Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. And if the majority of them had accepted the gift of God, another prophecy would have been fulfilled. Namely, that the liberation of the world would spread to the whole world, following the example of Uarziaty. But Uarziaty has still not accepted the gift of God, and the servants of the religions have also not looked into the prophesied open book mentioned in the Revelation of John. But other peoples have also been given clear indications of the signs by which they can recognize the end times. 1.5 years ago, the book began to be distributed around the world. In the meantime, the book has been translated into many languages. During the current exam time, some prophecies have already come true, which should help people to realize that the day of judgment is getting closer and closer, so that it's absolutely necessary to develop your soul in time and unite against the abyss. The 7 golden lampstands, which consist of the 7 divine number tables, are depicted in the book. In ancient engravings, they were depicted as stars, as 7 lampstands, or as 7 candles, which are found in the book. These are not simple combinations of numbers. They are the frequencies of the new world, expressed by numbers, which gradually began to displace the frequencies of the old world, helping people to recognize the truth and develop their consciousness to such an extent that they can move into the new cycle. The level of the tables is proof of the manifested gift of the Almighty to help people in the last days. It's intended to give them an unshakable faith and the necessary strength to unite in the face of the abyss and recognize the need to free themselves from the influence of illusions and the programs imposed on them. But everyone must make the choice for themselves. It's up to each individual to decide to walk the path of light, to take action, and to listen to the voice of their own conscience. In these last times, all boundaries of what is permitted have been removed. There are no longer any authorities or leaders to show people the way and guide them. People must realize that they have no one but themselves. They must unite with each other in these end times, take responsibility for everything that happens on their shoulders, and throw off the collar of slavery. In this so-called exam time, the final battle between darkness and light takes place in the souls of every human being. In August 2021, an immaterial sacred temple was built from the 7 lampstands, which was also foretold. Its appearance marked the beginning of the passage of time for the imminent coming of the messenger, who will complete the day of judgment, according to the level of the world and the spiritual level of each person. In 2023, the predicted sacred signs manifested themselves from 7 tables. The equilateral cross, the hexagon, and the 8-pointed star, which is composed of them. With the manifestation of the 8-pointed star, the frequencies of the new world penetrated even more strongly, and are gradually displacing the frequencies of the old world, both in the souls and in the entire planetary system. Lower souls, who are treading water, and are on the side of darkness with their godlessness, indifference and disunity, are unable to absorb the new frequencies. They begin to get stupider with each passing day, because the old frequencies can no longer maintain their former intellectual level. The clues provided by the revealed secrets of the sacred signs are an additional help for doubting people to recognize the exam time that has arrived, so that they can develop their consciousness in time and side with the light by uniting against the inhumans who are leading the world into the abyss. At the exam time, everyone is faced with the choice between darkness and light, between dust and eternity. But the inhumans are hurrying. Their actions are currently overtaking the awakening of humanity. When the world reaches the point of no return, there will be no turning back. So wake up, and start acting according to your conscience now. Arm yourselves with love, and concern for the future of your children, your country and the whole world. At the same time, the slower the unification of humans against the inhumans, and their influence on the world progresses, the more frequent and stronger natural disasters occur. This is not a punishment for the world, but an aid to accelerate the action of humans to unite in the final battle for their souls. For the new frequencies are also changing the structure of the planetary system, so that only through unification is it possible to free oneself from the shackles of the inhumans, in order to create a technical facility, called the fulcrum mechanism, through the joint efforts of all countries, with the help of which it is possible to prevent natural disasters and the imminent pole shift of the earth. Then the transition will be smooth. Otherwise, earthquakes, floods, fires and wars will increase and become more frequent. The degree of peace will determine the outcome of the last judgment. There are just a few inhumane beings stand at the pinnacle of power over the world. They are no longer truly human, but rather humanoid enemies of humanity. Their power grows in proportion to the division of mankind. This small group of inhumane beings, who consider themselves the rulers of the world, issue commands that are carried out by numerous exceedingly low souls. These commands are then followed by immature souls, who blindly adhere to the harmful and toxic rule. Orders are not discussed, but carried out. There are hundreds of thousands of them. They sit at the top levers of small, middle and upper levels of government in all countries. They are the last link in the chain of influence of a small group of rogues. But even in this last link, more and more are beginning to awaken and shake off the influence of magic from the epicenter of evil. And they can already see the abyss into which a band of inhumans is leading the world. This band of inhumans promises a new world for 1 billion chosen ones, and with this promise, they are trying to increase their influence over the perpetrators of the conspiracy against humanity. They do not realize that the Almighty is allowing their attempt to maintain the conditions under which people can choose between darkness and light. This is the exam time. The 7 sacred tables will begin to reveal their secrets, including new technologies, and the world will change so much that diseases will disappear, lifespans will be significantly extended, and the system of organisms will change, not only in humans, but also in animals and plants. Everything will happen gradually. There will definitely not be 1 billion chosen ones, and for those who do not pass the exam, there will be no continuation of life. Instead, there will be a transition from the old world to the new world for those who are worthy of continuing on this path. However, if people continue with their daily affairs, turn away from current events, and ignore the revealed book, hoping for politicians, other people, or that everything will resolve itself, catastrophes, disasters, wars, and diseases will increase and occur more frequently. This will increasingly give people the opportunity to realize that they are bringing about these conditions through their disunity, indifference, and laziness. I address the servants of all religions. Be mature in your minds, and take up your direct duty. Stand up for the protection of the people. Stop calling for submission and patience, when darkness begins to chip people, as if they were livestock. If you had true faith, you would stop all wars in 3 days. There are thousands of you, and you are obliged, truly obliged, to stand together between the Russian and Ukrainian, Israeli and Palestinian guns, sending the officers and soldiers home. They will listen to you, because by this act, this spiritual feat, you will show yourselves to be true priests of the Almighty. What prevents you from acting as your duty commands? Slain children look at you with reproach. Feel the great joy in your soul from a deed pleasing to God, unite against war, becoming priests to the nations, and cease to be agreeable to the enemies of civilization. Stop lying the people about the name under which the messenger will come, the family he will come from, and what he will look like. Stop lying that Jesus was crucified, that he is a slain lamb, and that he will open the prophesied book. If you are not spiritually weak, what other than your godlessness prevents you from clearly understanding the Scriptures? Did the Bible say that Jesus was a slain lamb? Does it say that Jesus opened the book? Do you not know that it has been the custom in many nations since ancient times to place the head of a slaughtered lamb on the table as a dish of honor? Doesn't the Bible say that the head of John the Baptist was served on a plate at Herod's table? Stop listening to the heresies of the Vatican, which has never been a temple of God, but has always worshipped darkness. If you are not blind in mind, do you not see in the main conference hall of the Vatican the image of a serpent with an open mouth, at which stands a podium? In front of the podium, there is a large hall of godless people in robes, some speaking from the serpent's mouth, the symbol of darkness, and others listening to it. The majority of you live by the rule, orders are not to be discussed, but carried out. This rule is for humanoid animals, not for rational people. Wake up. Turn to God, accepting the Creator's gift to fulfill His will for salvation, through unity against darkness. I am telling you this, I, the Forerunner, who has revealed the book by the will of the Almighty. If you do not listen to me again, you will lose the last chance for salvation. This is the same time. With you or without you, we will win this final battle. We are billions, and most of us are bright souls. We will pass the exam, because we are with God, and God is with us. And now, look at how the sacred solar signs, predicted among various peoples, manifest from the 7 lampstands. Look closely. Arm yourselves with logic, reason, and concentration. Throughout the history of our civilization, there have been no miracles equal to those, revealed from the last book to the world, from our Father. So, I present to you briefly and superficially several tables from the book, revealed to the world.
This is the first table. It has been known to the world for several thousand years thanks to a Chinese legend about a tortoise. This table served as the basis for the emergence of feng shui philosophy and other philosophical teachings. Although the 3 main keys have been known to the world for several thousand years. 1, 4, 7. 2, 5, 8. 3, 6, 9. No one has succeeded in solving the mystery of their properties, not even the genius Nikola Tesla. All attempts to unravel the properties of these 3 keys were based on observing the influence of the keys on the world of numbers. However, this was in vain, because the properties of all 33-digit number keys and the special system for creating the 7 tables of the universe will only be revealed at the end of a complete development cycle of our civilization. Even the most powerful computer and artificial intelligence would not be able to create even the table of 2-digit numbers without these secrets. There are 11 keys in the Chinese square Lo Shu. but only 6 are enough to recognize the origin of the most important sun signs: the hexagon, the equilateral cross, and the 8-pointed star. Let's take a look at this miracle. For 4,000 years, no one has thought of connecting the number keys to obtain these signs in the Chinese table. This confirms the fact that the revelation of this and all other secrets only happens at a certain point in time. All these 3 sun signs mentioned above, a straight line in 2 directions and a triangle in 4 directions, and other signs appear not only in the first table, but also in all the other 7 sacred tables. There is only one rule. The figures must be connected by the same digits or keys that lie in different horizontal and vertical rows. Take a close look at Table 2, in which the sun signs are manifested in the same way by geometric figures. And now look at this miracle in a larger table. Let's take Table 5 as an example. First, I will show you its inner structure. When you look at the table, check its absolute level yourself. In the table, there are 81 non-repeating sets of digits, and all horizontal, vertical, and diagonal rows add up to the same sum, 499,995. All 135 vertical rows of digits show one of the keys, and the same applies to the horizontal rows of digits. 1, 4, 7. 2, 5, 8. 3, 6, 9, horizontally and vertically. Let's take a look at Table 5, but this time not in the magic version, but in the base version. The base table differs from the magic table in that the sums of the diagonal rows are not the same. This base table contains the same 81 sets of digits. The horizontal and vertical rows each add up to the same sum, 499,995. Let's take a look at the digital value of a number, the table. The digital value of a number is the sum that results from the addition of all the digits of this number, until only one single digit remains. What does this table show if you convert the added sums into their digital value? Look. In Table 5, the geometric figures form an 8-pointed star, just as in the previous tables. There is also something to say about the secret of the cube, which is also found in the tables. The revelation of this secret is linked to the Kaaba in Mecca, to which Muslims from all over the world come every year. Here you can see 4 points, each with 12 lines, that is 12 rays. We draw 2 squares through these 4 points. In the center of the squares, we draw 2 more smaller squares. These 2 small squares form an octagon. Now compare the drawing obtained from the sacred tables with the drawing rub al-Hizb. The octagon rub al-Hizb is the inner element that Muslims have preserved in the center of the divine sun sign, the 8-pointed star. In Mecca, 7 stones are kept in the Kaaba temple. It is assumed that the remaining stones have been lost. However, there were no other stones, only these 7. which points to the 7 golden lampstands from the revealed book. The Kaaba temple is a prediction of the future, non-man-made temple in the age of Aquarius. Let's get back to the cube. Each part of the small cube consists of 9 8-pointed stars, which form the small cycle of everything that exists in the universe. 6 such cycles form the 6 outer sides of the cube. 6 more cycles are inside. This results in a total of 12 cycles consisting of 108 8-pointed stars. The next 2 magnitudes consist of 27 and 125 cubes respectively. The digital values of these first 3 magnitudes result in the number 1, 9, 8, the number of the Trinity. The complete secret of the properties of the Kaaba cube will be revealed in time. The least that the cube will give is the free energy of the ether.
At the beginning of the book, there is an article. Pay utmost attention to every line, because this article is the door to understanding the contents of the book, the door to understanding the Almighty's purpose in revealing the book. For what purpose to examine the internal structure of the 7 tables, and what needs to be done to fulfill God's will. You can download this book for free or read it in many languages online, translated by the efforts of my comrades, who have stood by me, and are now spreading this message to the entire world. Wake up. Turn to God, accepting the Creator's gift to fulfill His will for salvation, through unity against darkness.